This is Arkale, also known as you, the player, and since I've been gone, his look and the world around him has gotten a bit more detailed, essentially overnight. Now, my game has had a problem for a couple years. My cell shader, otherwise known as a toon shader, is kinda terrible. It only gets the color of the model and not the world around it. Basically, if light is facing towards the character, it doesn't reflect off of him. You see that light? After researching some different cell shader techniques, I've finally updated it to run on a post-process volume, which means that all lighting is now affected in the world. So shadows look a lot sharper and the lighting looks like it has 3 shades. It's not slowly fading light like it usually is. This guy has a really good video on this topic. He explains a lot of important information. Other than that, it was finally time to compare the old cell shader and the new cell shader. It's like having RTX on without really having RTX on. I can finally use metals and light looks amazing. Just look at the difference. It's finally looking good and polished. Now, since I'm trying to update the art style, I thought this was the perfect time to update my materials. As mentioned in my last video, I made a couple new wood materials that I hand painted. I started reskinning previous models with these new wood variants and began upgrading models like this wooden sword and shield combo and updated them with a mix of 2 wood variants. Here is a new next to the old. These weapons are probably going to be the lowest quality weapon in the game. I modeled them to look poorly made, like the blade crooked or different sized wood. But wood isn't the only material. As previously mentioned, metal is now good looking. So I made a master metal material, and now I can create material instances of the master and make new metals whenever I want, just by changing the color. Boom! Now I got silver, gold, and bronze. With the instances, I also added a slider for the normals. If you don't know what it means, it just adds depth to the model, as you can see on screen. So I have this cool little idea that the less durable your armor is, I could turn the slider gradually so your armor looks like it's getting damaged over time. Here's how a completely destroyed armor would look like compared to a new one. Since the metal was so easy, I decided to make a cloth version. It works the same as the metal, but it's not metallic. I know that sounds stupid, but the metallic slider is at 0. I finally added landscape LODs. I had level streaming enabled, so only this part of the map would show. The entire map obviously wouldn't load in because that would kill the FPS, so it would just kinda be like into the foreverness. So I grabbed all the maps you wouldn't be able to see in early access, and I made LODs, which is just a simplified version of the map. It's literally just a shape in a PNG. And yeah, the world looks a lot bigger. But now, it's time to work on what you'll see the entire time you play. The UI is currently still in progress, but here's what I've updated so far. I moved around a couple things on screen, like where your health, stamina, and items are located, and added a little indicator at the top right to show you what version of the game I'm currently playing on. Moving on to your inventory, I updated the general things like fonts, swapped out some of the pictures with 3D ones, and removed these absolutely terrible progress bars that tell you your stats because I made them years ago and it didn't really work, and I never bothered to fix them until now. And it looks a lot better. I have a problem whenever freezing the game. I have no idea why it flickers like that. Let's take a break from in-game updates real quick. This video is sponsored by no one, so someone please sponsor me. I want a motion capture suit. Huge news, I finally have another person helping me on my game. His name is Adapted.
Yo, I'm Adapted, and I've upscaling with a couple bug fixes so far. Some mechanics are still in the works behind the scenes, but we will save the specifics for next video.
He'll help me make mechanics better and faster. For example, he made this custom weather system that will be merging with Ultra Dynamic Sky to have a powerful custom weather and sky system. I mean, just look at the difference. The weather now randomly appears in-game and makes the floor wet when it rains. After researching level design for a couple weeks, I decided to start from scratch and actually think of where I want my areas to be and what I want the player to discover first. So this is the full Dawn map. Now zoom in. This is the early access map. I created paths and then used this picture to create points of interest. If you don't want to see the points of interest, fast forward like 20 seconds. 3, 2, 1. This is a points of interest map. It's kind of outdated, but most of it's right. I divided the map into 3 provinces. You start here and slowly make your way up. Each new province is harder than the last. Every shape has a different point of interest. Yellow circles are enemy camps, they vary in size. The purple squares are cities. The blue pentagons are ruined or destroyed cities / buildings. Pink ovals are enemy checkpoints. The red triangles are enemy bases. With this in mind, I went into the world and began placing simple shapes on where I want the buildings throughout the next few videos. You'll see these simple shapes gradually get more detailed as I need more testing areas. Now, for the past year, I've had this bug where the player literally could not step back or roll forward. I had no idea why, and behind the scenes I would try and fix it. Nothing would work. Now, this all started when I made a terrible character and had him for a while until he was scrapped. Now, about 2 months ago, I know this video kinda took long, I finally sat down and said, I'm not getting up till I fix this. As I was looking at the animation settings, I realized in the skeleton, it was missing a bone, dude. Except on one animation that worked. And that's how I found the error. And yeah, I feel stupid. So I swapped out the rolling animation, and this new one makes you go further than the previous one, which just feels better. Since our player can now move whenever you hit, you can clearly see the difference and you're no longer stationary when you move forward. To complement this, I added a slight camera shake, so you feel more power coming from your character when you hit something or whenever you're hit. Ouchie. Now that the dumb bug fix was fixed, I can finally do my favorite thing in my game and give myself stupidly overpowered boots. I mean, look at this thing. It launched me across the map. I'll either hide this in a special chest or have a very low randomized chance of getting this in any chest. So go to my channel, press community tab. When this video goes live, I'll upload the poll to vote now. But that's about it. I have a Discord server where I post updates, so if you want to recommend me something for the game or just share your developer knowledge with me, I'll happily put you in the credits. Next video, I'll go over what me and Adapted have been working on for the last month and some other cool stuff. So if you want to follow along, please subscribe.